We hope to have a good race again. The car is very good balanced, and I'm really looking forward for it. We just have to pass the first corner. This is the most difficult here, but we see. I hope it's going good.
Thank you.
Well, let's hope so too, because the yellow and silver cars need a little bit more luck and a bit more competitiveness. Certainly can't fault the hard work being put in by Jaime Puig and his team. And good to see Pippa Nielsen down there, so Pip's family can just be reassured that she is in fact earning a decent living for SEAT down there. Now, here we have the number 5 car, Roberto Colciago, starting alongside Diefenbacher, but starting towards the back of the 8, Gabriele Tarquini.
Gabriele Tarquini, in today's race, is Roberto Colciago going to help you out to climb the grid?
No, I hope to don't have any needs to Colciago, but this track is very difficult for our car. Tire wear is very hard, so I hope to do a good race and to score some points.
Thank you.
Well, Gabriele did, in fact, a great race. Oh, that was a dreadful Tarquini accent, wasn't it? An excellent performance indeed from Gabriele Tarquini. Got left at the start, as you would expect, bundled down to 5th or 6th place by a host of BMWs, but fought his way back past all but one of them. And one of those he did get by was Andy Priaulx, the Jerseyman in the BMW 320i. I've said Jersey, now I'm thinking Guernseyman, aren't I? The Channel Islands driver, I'm sure he is a Guernseyman, I do apologise, Andy. Andy Priaulx in the BMW GB entry. And Priaulx will start in 6th place on the grid. Alongside him, on the inside of that row, will be Antonio Garcia. And pole position is on the right-hand side, which is sort of the racing line into the first corner. And as you can see, the left-hand side staggered back shouldn't have an advantage into that first left-hander, but often they do. Jörg Müller will start on that side, on the inside, but on the inside of row 4. Alongside him will be Gabriele Tarquini, just alongside and slightly to the left of the picture, to the right as Jörg sees it. Incidentally, Dirk Müller will start right behind Dirk Müller, 9th in race 1. And there he is, red strip across the top of the windscreen. That's the way to identify the two. Obviously, unless you can actually see them. But the two BMWs looking very similar indeed, and always hard to read the numbers on these race cars at any kind of a distance other than if they're actually driving over your feet. So Giovanardi and Coronel, row 1, Diefenbacher and Colciago, row 2, Garcia and Priaulx, row 3, Tarquini and Müller, row 4, Dirk Müller and Hane, row 5. And just hearing from the pits that the number 6 car will not start the race. Sebastian Stahl, now he is the stepbrother of Ralf and Michael Schumacher, and he retired just 3 laps into the first race in his Alfa Romeo, and the Nord Auto Delta, beg your pardon, Alfa team entering him as a 4th Alfa to try and help them with the championship challenge. Duncan Heisman in the number 21 Carly Motorsport car. He starts, as we said, in 11th place with Ricard Rydell. Alongside him in 12th spot, then Tom Sengstrom and Fabio Francia. Incidentally, misidentified the stationary Alfa Romeo at the beginning of race 1. It was, of course, Paolo Ruberti, not Fabio Francia. It's been a long morning already. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So Jörg Müller, the championship leader then, by 10 from Gabriele Tarquini and Andy Priaulx, tied on 72 points each, with 3 wins to Tarquini and 2 to Priaulx. 1, 2, 3, 4 now to Jörg Müller. So it's not the reliable points gatherers in the minor positions that are leading here. They are the top race winners. 4th place, 70 points, 2 adrift of Tarquini and Priaulx, and 12 adrift of the lead is one-time race winner Nicola Larini. Dirk Müller in 5th place, 64 points to 82 of his teammate Jörg. And Dirk has got 2 race wins to his credit, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 no-point score races, and this is only race 16 of the championship, so he's got almost a 50% non-score record. Not what you call a great season for him. He's in 5th, Roberto Colciago in 6th. And as they get away from 3rd place, Frank Diefenbacher smoking the hides a little bit to bring some warmth into the tyres and leave a bit of rubber on his grid position. And as we said, Diefenbacher scoring his first points of the European Touring Car Championship. Hane scored points for 8th place in race 2 at Magny-Cours. for 6th place, rather, race 2 at Manicourt, and a point for race 2, 8th place at Brno. So he has 4 points, Diefenbacher now with 3. Same number as Andre Coto. Bordigene has the same number as Fabio Francia. So on board with Muller J, as Fabrizio Giovanardi, as was, I think, rather cruelly pointed out to him on the grid, although it's a fact that he'll be all too well aware of, leads the field round for the first time all year. Tough luck for the reigning champion, and considering the years he's had with Alfa Romeo in the last 5 or 6 years, to be on pole position purely because of a reverse grid really is no indication of his talent, but more of where his car is regarding performance compared to the Schnitzer BMWs and the Auto Delta Alfa Romeos. Tony Garcia, his teammate, starts 5th ahead of Andy Prio as you run down the grid order. Cars all seemingly making it safely away from the green flag lap this time. At least we didn't get any shots of anybody stationary, but I think we didn't in race 1 either. Diefenbacher there, the yellow car weaving. There's Prio with the Union flags very prominently on his car. Tarquini and Jörg ahead of Dirk. Janet. The red Dayglow strips, incidentally, around the white BMW, the Carly Motorsport car, that's Heisman. The yellow Dayglow strips are his teammate Tom Coronel. Here's Fabio Francia. See, black car with a red splitter. Yes, it's kind of easy to make that mistake when you're dull. And through turns 8 and 9, which last year didn't really seem to produce too much in terms of excitement, but this year in the touring cars have been really the scene of an awful lot of spectacular offery. And in the Formula Renault V6 grand race yesterday as well. So coming to the grid with Andy Prio, looking for spot 6. Looking at those boards hung over the wall, row 1, row 2, row 3. And where is Tom Coronel off to? Tom Coronel from 2nd on the grid is pulling off. He's obviously got a problem, and a major one. Temperatures must be well excessive for Coronel to want to pull off there rather than to start the race. Maybe his clutch is slipping, maybe he's lost drive, he's lost the drive, or he's switched it off. It may have switched it off, accidentally knocks the wipers on as he gets out of the car, and that will mean yellow flags for the start, but they should still start it. Tom Coronel bails out of the Carly Motorsport car, and the diminutive Dutchman will be very disappointed with that. A chance definitely for a win here, I would have thought, for Coronel, or at least a really good stab at it and a hell of a good race. Tom, if I were you, mate, I would be back on the wall. Okay, red flag. They are going to abort the start so they can move Coronel's car. And that means that even if they can do something to fix his car, rather than just drag it out of the way, he cannot resume his grid position. Now, everybody else will be flicking the ignition to off, because racing cars, unlike road cars, are not built to sit in traffic without overheating. They're built to sit in high-speed airflow without overheating. In other words, if you've got an engine that needs to run at 160 degrees at 160 kilometers an hour, that's all the radiator's built for. If you sit stationary idling, you will boil it. It's as simple as that. Race cars, touring cars, no matter what they are. Let's hope he takes up the slack nice and gently. There we go. Do not have idling ability, so the engine's switched off immediately, particularly for Giovanardi, Diefenbacher, Colciaga, the men on the front row of the grid, and also no aircon, of course, so the doors open on this hot afternoon at Oschersleben as Tom Coronel is unfortunately towed into pit lane. An ignominious start to round 16 for him, a round that perhaps promised a lot, and I don't think the lock's going to get him round the safety car. Safety car man spotted that problem as well. He's backing up. So now mechanics and battery trolleys onto the grid. Apologies in advance then to David Duffield and everybody who will be hoping to join us on time for the coverage of the Vuelta. I'm sure they're not necessarily tuned in at the moment, but we are undoubtedly therefore going to run late. So tyre trolleys, air jacks and everything else out there. And what would be normal in this situation, now that everybody is on the grid, is you will have to try and start going back through your countdown of your start procedures, and they will normally reset the clock, I would have thought, to something like 15 minutes to go. Tyre warmers going on the cars. They won't be plugged into the generators to heat the tyres, but they're there, the blankets, to try and stop them going too cool. Now for Roberto Colciaga, the first the Alphas, nice easy slot up the inside through the first corner if he can get past Diefenbacher. And I think Catherine and the camera should be down with Tom Coronel. Let's catch up with them, see what's going on.
Tom Coronel, can you just tell us what happened?
Well, the drive shaft broke. I already heard the drive shaft working. Already the last few laps I could hear the car, and I just heard it the first warm-up lap, and I already said to the guys, I hear a strange noise, and that it was. The drive shaft broke. It's a pity because we were good in front next time.
But it's a shame for you, because does this affect in any way your for the championships? Because as the independents, you're still very high up.
Of course, because I was challenging for the first place in the Independence Cup, so I hope the guys can do something, and that at least I can make some points. Yeah, thank you. I'm going.
Thank you.
So Tom will rejoin the Carly Motorsport crew, and Carly Klinkhoff's boys will try and get a new drive shaft into that car and see if they can at least start him from the pit lane, because as he says, if he can get any points at all, it's better than nothing. So Jörg Müller doesn't really need the pressure, but he's always good for a quick quote.
Jörg Müller, you won the previous race, but does it disturb you to have the start delayed now for race number 2?
Not at all. I mean, you've got to stay concentrated, and I'm going to stay concentrated short before the race, so I don't care. Now the race is a little bit shorter, which is good, so I don't have to sweat so much. For me, it's all right like this.
Race 1 was kind of a big battle with Tarquini. Was it in fact easy from the inside of your car, or was it really hard also?
It was very difficult because I'm driving with 30 kilos at the moment, and my tires dropped off, so it was very difficult for me to keep the car on the road. But I just tried to make no mistakes, and even Tarquini behind me, sometimes he came closer and then he did a mistake again. So I just did a race without mistakes, and I could keep it in front.
You've increased the lead, your lead in the championship after the race 1, but do you think the championship will be end at the last race, really? Will know the champion at the last moment of the season?
I'm very, very, very sure about that, because the next few races is again a little bit of an advantage for Alfa Romeo, and I'm probably with 40 kilos next race, I don't know, but I have the feeling. So it's going to be very difficult for me for the next 2 races, and there's still 5 guys which can win, so it's going to be difficult.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is going to be difficult indeed. Jörg Müller, the championship leader by 10 points as we get ready for the aborted restart here. Carly Motorsport team working hard to change the drive shaft left rear of Tom Coronel's BMW. We'll be back live with more from Oschersleben in just a moment. Stay with us, do, as we continue our European Touring Car coverage.
Irreproachable. Geox. Its secret is the membrane. Waterproof and breathable. Geox, the shoe that breathes.
Just imagine being connected to your home anytime, anywhere. With the revolutionary LG mobile phone, you can easily access the LG Home Net, where all your favorite home electronic devices are under your full control. With the internet refrigerator, you can surf the net, watch TV, download and listen to music or record video memos. Don't want to miss your favorite program? Now you can access the LG personal video recorder and virtually pause, replay and record real-time broadcasting even when you're away from home. Besides giving you the best resolution, the LG digital TV could also be used to remotely control other home electronic units. Forgotten to turn off the air conditioner? No problem. You can turn it off simply with the touch of a button. The LG Home Net is tailored to meet your personal needs so that you can get more out of life, beyond its imagination. LG, digitally yours.
Yokohama, the art of performance.
Back live at I'll start that again. Back live at Oschersleben, round 16 of the FIA European Touring Car Championship. Start has been delayed, and we will get the 5-minute board at 5 to 4 Central European time, 5 to 3 in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, let's catch up with heavily weighted Nicola Larini.
Nicolas Larrenier, you're on the last position of this grid, so explain us what happened in race 1 for you.
The front right tires in braking blow up, and I'm straight on, but it was just 3-4 laps before. I feel something wrong on my right side. There was vibration, and then I tried to attack Giovanardi, but was quite impossible because there was a lot of understeering. Vibrations coming up so strong at the end. It was broken. Nothing to do.
Thank you.
Well, we saw Larini, didn't we, going off at high speed between 8 and 9 and then scooting into the pits, and that's what the problem was, clearly. 5 minutes to go. Carling Motorsport team still working to replace Tom Coronel's drive shaft. Coronel, the reason for this red flag, he was on the front row of the grid, pulled into his grid position, but the drive shaft was broken. As everybody else slowed down and stopped on the warm-up lap, he continued rolling to try and get out of the way, but could not get far enough out of the way, and the race was halted. We'll get the 5-minute board in just a second. Race will be shortened by 1 lap because there will be another warm-up lap now. So race will now be 13, not 14 laps. No refueling allowed, no other changes of tyres or anything else to the car. This is the Seat Sport team. Frank Diefenbacher in race 1 scored his first points in the European Touring Car Championship, and it's Frank who takes us round the track.
Okay, and here we go. Straight down the start and finish line of a 3.6 kilometer long lap. And here we are, straight down braking, very hard, 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, and into the long 180 degrees right-hander. Now we are late braking into this 2nd gear left-hander, which is quite difficult, and you need to catch a lot of speed for the following short straight. Now we reach the most difficult part of the track, a triple left-hander, where you're very quick, 4th gear, and a lot of oversteer here. Okay, 2nd gear again, 180 right. The track looks really dirty here. Okay, right up to the chicane. Here you see the car really flying over the curbs. Very quick there, 3rd gear, around the right-hander and back on the back straight. And that looks like a good lap. Okay, now hard braking, 4th gear, and right into the chicane. Now we're almost flying over the curbs here, using all of the track. And now we're nearly on start-finish, just this right-hander. Okay, 2nd gear, and we go back to the start-finish line. Look for a good line here, so maybe we have an overtaking point at the end of the start-finish, but we will see.
So a lap with Frank Diefenbacher, and that was just before qualifying. Diefenbacher there, the yellow Seat, the 2nd car on the right-hand side as they look at it. Here's Dirk Müller.
The first race was not so good for you. Now you have 18 points less than Jörg at the championship, so is it time to help him?
I mean, definitely the first race was not the luckiest one. My car was excellent, thank you for that, for the team Schnitzer and BMW. I got problems while shifting, and I misshifted quite a lot, and therefore I went 2 times wide. I feel really bad at the moment, and now really I have to say we need to see that Jörg is going to win the championship. I will see. I mean, I won't fight with him. We'll see.
Thank you.
I will help.
Well, I won't fight with him. He just a shade shy of saying there, I'm going to support Jörg all the way through, because, well, I don't know, mathematically, let's see, 40 points on offer for the, let's go back again. 50 points on offer, because we haven't dealt with this race yet, have we? 5 races left, 50 on offer, and it's 64 to 82. So if he gets all 50 points, Dirk Müller will go to 114, and if he gets 8 for 2nd place, 5 8s are 40, 8 9 122 for Jörg Müller. So if Jörg follows Dirk across the line first and second every time, Dirk can't win. But mathematically, it's not impossible for him to win the championship yet. And from 5th place, with 5 races to go, he really does not want to give it up, because we've seen from Tom Coronel, from Nicola Rini this weekend, from last weekend, Gabriele Tarquini, it's perfectly possible for your car to retire on you through no fault of your own, or indeed anybody else's, but just to break. It's also perfectly possible to be caught up in somebody else's incident or one of your own creation. So nothing is for certain yet. In fact, nothing will be for certain, I think, until the end of the very final race at Monza. And Jörg Müller said that was pretty much his opinion of it. I think you can't argue with that. Andy Priaulx starts up. 2 minutes, clear at the grid, start the cars, thumbs up, everything A-OK. Now the mechanics and the batteries will all leave the grid. The reason cars have batteries to help them start, incidentally, is because the racing battery is just there to run the electronic ignition system, not for starter motors and all that kind of stuff during the race. And there is, generally speaking, not any kind of an alternator in most race cars either. So the battery doesn't get particularly well charged. There is the hole where Tom Coronel should have been. Interesting to see, if we can, whether Coronel will line up at the exit of the pit lane at any time during the warm-up lap and before the final green light to start procedure commences. Pole position then for Fabrizio Giovanardi, a gap alongside him. Behind him, Frank Diefenbacher, Roberto Colciago, the yellow and the red car, left to right. Then behind him, behind them rather, Garcia and Priaulx, Tarquini, and then Jörg and Dirk Müller. Jörg Müller, of course, winner of race 15 here, the first race at Oschersleben. Andy Priaulx, second for a long while, finally ended on the podium in 3rd place in that one, and is tied for 2nd place in the championship with Gabriele Tarquini. And for a man who is in his 1st year of rear-wheel drive touring car racing, his 2nd year ever of any kind of touring car racing, I have to say, if you'd offered Andy Priaulx 2nd place at any point in the championship, even after the 1st race, I'm sure he would have taken it and been grateful of it, never mind with just 5 of the 20 races, of the 24 races left to go. When we're talking about 20 races left to go. Tom Coronel's car is fixed, and he will have to start from the pit lane, but he will be able to start. Now, of course, for Coronel, while he would have loved to have battled for the overall win of the race from the outside the front row of the reverse top 8 of this 2nd race grid, still, he is actually really much more interested in the privateers points, the Independence Trophy points. And that will be his prime focus. And if you bear with me while I do a little bit of clickery and trickery, go to the Independence points, which I do not have instantly to hand, and the website will tell us. The official website of the European Touring Car Championship is FIAtouringcars.com, by the way. Duncan Heisman leads on 106, Tom Coronel on 84, defending against Paolo Berti, Alessandro Balza and Fabio Francia. The Alfa Romeo drivers on 78, 68 and 68 apiece. And those scores are as of now, not as of the beginning of the weekend. They do incorporate points from the 1st race here, round 15, which is just finished. So we're getting underway here, comfortably 15 minutes late. But we will still run the race to all but its full distance, 13 laps, one taken into account of the extra warm-up lap from the full race distance of 14. So 13 laps, and it's Giovanardi on his own on row 1, Diefenbacher and the man you're looking at now, Colciago on row 2. Garcia and Priaulx will fancy their chances with 2 front drive cars right in front of them of slotting through some open track, which they mysteriously hope will still be open on the run down to the 1st corner. Let's watch for those BMWs for row 3 to really make a good start. Plus Jörg Müller and Dirk Müller from row 4 and 5 respectively. Away they go then. Giovanardi gets a little bit of tyre smoke. Here comes Garcia. He's got past the Seat. He's got past Tarquini. So too has Priaulx. Priaulx's got the inside line. He goes into 2nd place. So it's Giovanardi, Priaulx, and there's Diefenbacher kicking up the dirt. Garcia in third, Tarquini in fourth. There's Rickard Rydell around the outside of, is it Engstrom? Yes, it would be, I think. There is Garcia in third. Behind him is the fifth place Seat. This is in sixth position then, looking forward from Jörg Müller. I think it may well be. Looking back from Tarquini. And let's have a check. Yeah, I think that is Jörg Müller in sixth position. So from eighth on the grid. And see that rear wheel classic front wheel drive car there, rear wheel hopping clear of the deck. So Giovanardi, Prio, Garcia, Tarquini, Colciago, I beg your pardon, fourth. And then Diefenbacher fifth. Sixth place, Jürgen Dirk side by side. Dirk Müller trying to get alongside, he's blocking. That's Gabriele Tarquini further back, but it didn't work, he got past. Tarquini did get past Jörg Müller. That's Jörg on the dirt there as they come out of the S's. And Dirk Müller still defending. Tarquini trying to get by. Hane right behind him. Let's look at this battle. Here is... no, it's the black windscreen strip. That's Jörg Müller. There's Dirk Müller further back. Now I am confused. How did that one happen? I was getting myself all in a 2 and 8. That is Jörg Müller. Then Tarquini number 4. Then Hane as they go across the line. So it wasn't... Jörg Müller, I'm sorry those of you that were yelling at the screen telling me that at the time. There is Diefenbacher piling the pressure on Colciago. BMW's 1, 2, 3. Alpha 4, Seat 5. BMW 6. Alpha 7. Oh, big slide. That looked like Heisman away from the start. Looking back, this is from the viewpoint of the pole. Not the pole man on second row. Colciago. Was it from Tarquini's car? Well, hard to tell. Giovanardi, Prio, Garcia, Colciago, Diefenbacher, Jörg, Gabriele, and then Jorge Hane in 8th place. So Dirk Müller a little further back. And some bumping and boring going on there. And there is that battle with Hane, and it's Heisman, it is Heisman behind him. And Rydell. And here comes Colciago, wheel to wheel with Diefenbacher. And Frank holds on, German driver with his dander well and truly up here. Not going to give away a single point if he can help it to anybody, not man nor beast. Diefenbacher strong in defence here. Car for him as it was last time out. Hane is the man who's got a slightly revised version of their beam axle. Fully revised version should hopefully be on both cars for Estoril. It's Giovanardi that leads then. Prio in second, Garcia in third. We're in 7th place as we're riding there. And that with Jörg Müller, Dirk Müller behind him riding shotgun. Tarquini's ahead of them though, he did get through. Colciago, Tarquini is away from Jürgen Dirk. So Jürgen Dirk Müller are picking up scraps. Tarquini heading up to the main fair up front. A 5-car train now. Giovanardi holding up Prio. Garcia there. Despite their battle behind, Diefenbacher and Colciago. Now 4th and 5th, not 5th and 4th. Diefenbacher got alongside and around, and then defended strongly to stop Colciago getting back in front. Let's have a look here. A little bit of contact there for the number 9 car. Just a little tap into Jorge Hane. I think that may have been Jörg Müller's bumper cam. First, second and third, close as you like. BMW's all together. Andy Prio in the middle of the BMW Italia Spain teammates. Giovanardi, the reigning champion, and Garcia. Team, as mentioned earlier, run by Umberto Grana, former European Touring Car Championship winner as a driver. Now Diefenbacher is right with Garcia now in the Spanish Seat Toledo, about to try and dust up the Spanish BMW. And with him has come Colciago. Tarquini is closing in as well. 1.5 seconds behind Colciago at the line last time. That's got to be less. This time it is, well, still showing 1.4. Nothing between the lead trio though, 0.2 and 0.3 between Giovanardi and Prio and Garcia respectively. And then Diefenbacher right with them. Prio running out a little wide. Garcia can't get inside. Prio using the road there to try and get a good run down into the Bilstein S's. As they came out of turn 4, long double right-hander. Now they're on the stadium straight down to the Shell S's. This is an overtaking opportunity. Diefenbacher's giving Garcia a worrying look. That's a long way back to be thinking about making that move from. And the speed that Diefenbacher carried through the corner, right up behind Garcia. We might be seeing a move for third place in a corner or two. Into 8, Garcia has to defend very heavily into 9. He saw the danger building, and as Diefenbacher's pupils loom wide in his eyes, Giovanardi pulls over far right of the track. He's letting Prio go, but he's trying to do it in as gentlemanly a manner as possible. Prio goes by him into the lead, and Giovanardi in trouble. Garcia goes through as well. And Diefenbacher going, come on, get out the way. I've got a race to win here. Give the boy 3 points, and suddenly he thinks he's the race winner in. And through 2 goes Colciago. Tarquini can't get by on either side there. And Gio is not long for this race. If he's giving away positions like that, it's not for the love of it. Colciago still trying to get by. Giovanardi hanging on, not going to give them away. You can take them from